What's good, YouTube? Today I'm gonna show y'all how to find your own settings, cause y'all motherfuckers be copying pro player settings and it just don't make no sense. I was just like you. I be seeing pro players like playing and shit. I was like, I need to find their settings. I copy their settings. My aim looks nothing like theirs. I follow every single pro player settings. All of them fucking suck. So in today's video, bro, I'm really gonna show you how to find your own settings and get your own, you know what I'm saying, your own groove type shit. Today's example is gonna be Warzone, but you can do this for any game. It could be Fortnite, Call of Duty, Siege, Apex. It could be goddamn Brawlhalla if you want it to be. Actually, no, that don't even make sense. It's not an FPS, but it could literally be any FPS. Any FPS, this shit works. It don't matter what game it is at all. But first, I don't even know why I'm on Warzone. I should really be on AimLabs. But what you gotta do is you gotta download AimLabs. AimLabs just came out for console, so this can work on console and PC. I think AimLabs just came out for PC like a few months ago, so this updated shit, this works for console and PC. So you guys got no excuse, all you PC players or all you console players, you guys got no excuse. You guys have AimLabs now, so you gotta download that shit first. You're probably asking right now, D Hoops, why are we in AimLabs? Because this is where you're gonna find your own sensitivity, your own personalized sensitivity. Instead of copying pro players' fucking sensitivities and whiffing all your shots and shit, bro, they play on $2,000 PCs. You're on a console. They play on $300 fucking controllers. You're on a stationary PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 controller. They play on $2,000 monitor, bro. You're on a 60 frame monitor. Like, they have different rigs and different like just equipment, so that shit not gonna work for you. The way they found their sensitivity is with all that factored in, so that shit's not gonna work. That shit's not gonna work for you. Just like in the, like for example, in the NBA, motherfucker, everybody made it to the league, but they had different jump shots. Not two people had the same jump shots. Just like how pro Call of Duty players, they all have different settings. You feel me? So this is how you're gonna find your personalized settings, and it's gonna be non-crunch settings too for controller players. What non-crunch means is you're not gonna have to rely on aim assist as much. So if you're finding people through smokes, because you lose aim assist when you don't got smokes, and when you find your settings, you're not gonna have to worry. Like, you're not gonna be fucking whiffing and fucking can't shoot a fucking rock in the ocean because you don't have sensitivities that are tuned into your liking. So this one, you're gonna find your sensitivity. When people throw smokes and you find the smokes, it's gonna be no problem because like you find your sensitivity, so you got nothing to worry about. Obviously, if we're gonna try to look for our sensitivity and find our sensitivity, we're gonna have to go under the tracking category and just play the first one, the first strafe track one. Just load into that bitch. Yeah, fuck. Yep. Chalk it up. You got to change your loadout. I'm not gonna lie, because the sight on the pistol low-key kind of buns. Because you're gonna have to do two. You're gonna have to do a hip fire sensitivity and an ADS sensitivity. And I'm gonna explain why that's important later. But you gotta go up here, edit loadout. I just go with the SCAR because I just feel like the sight is the best, and holy shit, it replicates Call of Duty the best. So load into that bitch with the SCAR. So you're here, you're loaded up in the strafe track shit, and you're gonna want to go to settings. Make sure you got Call of Duty settings on. You go to game profile. First of all, have your controller plugged in. First of all, go to Call of Duty series, scroll all the way down, click it, Black Ops 7. If you play on 120 FOV, if you don't, just change it to whatever FOV you play on. I play on 120 for both, so I do 120. Once you get to controller settings, you're gonna have to go to the description down below, because this is finding your perfect sensitivity using this method. It's using math, so it's kind of complicated, but you'll get the hang of it. Basically, what you're using AimLabs for is trial and error and tracking your misses and makes using the chart in the link in the description. I'm going to show you how to use it right now. Once you get to this website, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? Basically, what this is doing is it is trial and erroring 7 times, calculating with math your perfect sensitivity. All you have to do is try this shit 7 times. So with Warzone, it goes up to the max. It goes up to 4, but you don't want to start with 4. Why? Okay, what is that? Why? Because it's gonna have you test out 2 sensitivities. See, if it goes to 4, it's gonna have you try 6. You can't try 6 because the max is 4, so that's fucking irrelevant. So you start halfway. You start half of what the max is. So for Fortnite, it's 100%. So you would put 50% starting sensitivity if you're doing Fortnite. For Warzone, it's 4, but you're gonna want to do 2, so that's half. Obviously, if you pass fucking math, you would know that's half. It's gonna have you do 3 and 1. So you go to AimLabs, You see, you go to 3, whichever one you want to start first. Usually I start with the lower one first, so 1. So you go back to aim labs. You're back on aim labs. You're going to want to go to controller. It's having you start with a 1.0, so you're going to put this shit to 1.0. Make sure you fill out, put 1 sensitivity multiplier. You find out your input stick dead zone or whatever. You find out your dead zones on Call of Duty. And always play dynamic. Do not play linear, bro. This is not fucking 2020, bro. It's 2026 where everybody plays dynamic, bro. Play dynamic. Keep this on 1. Find out your dead zones, and they're gonna have you try 1 first. So put this shit on 1. Save it. And what you're gonna want to do, you're finding out your hip sensitivity first. We're not doing ADS. So when you do this shit like this, do not scope in. Do not scope in. You follow, you track it, whatever. You track it, and it's gonna tell you the accuracy at the top. It's going to tell you, and you're going to do the shit for a minute. After the minute's over, once it's over, you're going to see your on target rate, which is you hit 7% of your shots. Obviously, I didn't fucking try, so it's obviously going to say 7. But what you're going to want to write down whatever, 1.0 and then 7%. And then you're going to want to try the next fucking number in the shit, which was 3. So now you already tried 1, and you know you shot 7% with 1. So now you're going to try 3 and see what you end with 3. If you end up higher, then if you end up higher than 7%, right? Let's say you do 10% with 3. So you shot a higher percentage with 3, you would click higher. And then it's going to give you new sets to try out. So now you're going to try a 3.75, you're going to try 1.25. So you try those 2 out, and let's say that the lower one, you shot a higher percentage with the lower one. You click lower, and then you guys get the fucking gist. You do lower, let's say the higher one, that one, higher, and then lower. And then at the end, when you do all 7 integrations or whatever, it's going to give you your perfect sensitivity right here. So 144. I already did this shit, so I already know my perfect sensitivity. So it's going to be different for everybody else. So you just try that shit. So me personally, when I did this for hipfire, I ended up getting a 1.8. I mean, not a 1.8, I'm a dumbass. I got a 0.8 on both of them. So when I did this test, so it's going to be different for everybody else. But mainly when you copy these pro player settings, usually they just have the same upper stick, but they leave the sensitivity multiplier. Why this is bad? For some reason, I never understood it, because me personally, my hipfire and my ADS feel different. I'm not gonna aim, like I might aim very well with this hipfire, but I might not aim well with the ADS. When I'm ADSing, I am a completely different, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not as slow as 1.8. Like, when I'm ADS, I'm, like, faster. You're going to want to do the same thing with your ADS, because me personally, I don't know if it's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You got to try it out. But I would suggest doing both your hipfire and your ADS with this shit. Doing the same method, same as that method. Doing the 7 integrations and then getting your, different sensitivity. It might end up being 0.8 too. But for me, it ended up being, so when I hipfired, my perfect sensitivity was 0.8, but when I was ADSing, it was way faster, and it was a 1.4. Like, it was not a 1.8 at all. So 2 different sensitivities. For some reason, when pro players on Call or Warzone or whatever, they keep this the same. They keep this ADS multiplier at 1, but for some reason, it never made sense to me, because it's like, it never made sense, because are you going to be as accurate ADSing as you are hipfiring? I don't think so, because me personally, it's different. I'm a way faster ADSer than I am a hipfire shooter. So it's gonna be 2 different. It's gonna be different for me, and that's on all games. On Fortnite, on Apex, like my ADS is like different than my hipfire. Like my hipfire and my ADS are 2 different sensitivities for me. So try it out. Try out the calculator for both your ADS and your hipfire. That is very important, because they're gonna be, most likely they're gonna be 2 different values. Next, after you find out and jot them down in your notes or whatever, let's say you gotta, like for me personally, I play on 0.8 for my hipfire, and I play on 1.4 for my ADS. But when you're, you know what I'm saying, the settings are different. Like, how do you change that to where you're aiming with a 1.4, but you're also hipfiring with a 0.8? You got to do some more math. I know it sucks, but trust me, it's not that hard, because you can't keep this ADS multiplier as 1, because you're going to be aiming as if you were on 0.8, which you're not. You're aiming as, you're gonna want to put that ADS to 1.4. But how do you do that? Again, you have to do math. So what number times my hipfire do I get 1.4? So I do 0.8, which is my hipfire, and then I find out what times that gets my ADS. So 1.4. So I know when I put my ADS multiplier, I have to put that on 1.75 because fuck me. Holy shit, why is it going so fast? I know that because 0.8 times 1.75 gives me my ADS. So now I have a 1.4 ADS, and then I still have my 0.8 hip fire. So I'm using my perfect sensitivities for both my ADS and my hip fire. That's how you get that. So whenever you're gonna, and also this is no aim assist, by the way. This is your perfect sensitivity on controller with no aim assist. So when I get into like when I used to copy pro player settings and I used to get like fight in the smoke and shit, I would be whiffing all over the place. I couldn't shoot a pebble into the ocean. I couldn't do nothing, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, cause it would be so fucking fast. Like it would just be fucking up because it's not my sensitivity. So I would be fucking up. Like if somebody threw a smoke, I was cooked. But with this, I am way better in the smoke. Bro, it's like it don't even affect me at that point because I found my perfect sensitivity, so it don't even fucking matter. You're gonna be now training your perfect hip fire or ADS, whichever one you want to work on. It's gonna be your perfect one because it's using math. And to show you guys that this shit actually works, I'm gonna do this shit in Call of Duty. I'm gonna do this shit in the fire range. I'm gonna show you guys that with my calculations and shit, you know what I'm saying? My smart ass calculations. I know this shit was a pain in the ass to find. It took me like an hour or so to find this shit, but I'm telling you, bro, it's so worth it. So I put my 0.08, my hip fire sensitivity. I did my dead zones. If you want to figure out your dead zones, you just use the dead zone finder. You do that for both. Low key, I meant to change that, but yep, you find your dead zones down here. And then your sensitivity multiplier, you're only doing the ADS sensitivity multiplier. I already put my 1.75, so now after I do that, I have my 0.8 for my hip fire, and then I have my 1.4 for my ADS. So they're separate, just like that. 1.4 on the ADS, and then if I want to hip fire, I use my 0.8, so perfect. And back to the pro players keeping their shit at like their multiplier at 1. Like my 0.8 is boom, boom, boom. Like I could flick pretty easily. But let's say that I wanted to play on 1.40 and then 1. Say I wanted to play on 1.40 and keep it at 1. Sure, I got my 1.4 ADS like normal, you know what I'm saying? Hitting my fucking ADS shots and shit. But when somebody throws a smoke or I'm in a hip fire, you know what I'm saying, type situation, now I'm overshooting. You see how I'm overshooting? Because I'm not adjusted to it. It's too fucking fast. So that's why you gotta do both of them, so that your centering is better. So your centering is at its peak instead of, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not fucking going all the way over here. So this really fixes your centering like that. Even with like the flicks and shit, it'll help someone with your flicks because it's your perfect sensitivity. So like if I want to go like this, like how people in Call of Duty they do, like people in Call of Duty don't normally do flicks like that. You don't really normally do that in a real game. Usually in a game it's more of like a ADS on ADS and then ADS again. It's not unless you're running unless you're shooting really far, you can go like that to that. But in SMG fights, your centering is really important, and it's gonna feel so much better. And again, this works on all games. It don't matter what type of fucking game, Rust, Call of Duty, Siege, Apex, it don't matter what game. I've used this on all games, and it works on every single game all FPS shooters, third person shooters. I'm sure it can work on Arc Raiders and all that. All you sweaty ass Arc Raiders players, I'm sure it can work on that shit too. Yeah, after watching this video, bro, you will never have to go watch another settings video again, because these are your perfect settings according to your fucking monitor, your controller, your fucking PC. If you get a new PC or a new controller, a new monitor, something like that, you might want to redo this entire test, because I guarantee you that your sensitivity is going to feel iffy. So for me, until I get a new monitor or a new PC or a new controller, it's going to stay like this. So once I do get something new like that, I'm not gonna touch it. So these are the perfect settings for what I have right now until I get some type of replacements for equipment. So yeah, that's how you basically just find out your perfect sensitivity for any game. If y'all want to support me, bro, go ahead, like, subscribe. I got all my socials in the description. I'm also put the calculator in the description. I hope I remember that, because that would be fucking embarrassing, but I'm sure I'll remember. But yeah, that's pretty much just how to find your perk sensitivity, you feel me? So yeah, peace out.